What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Loose Ends Fantasy Football Podcast and Average Fantasy Football Podcast, hosted by
your average fantasy whatevers.
football
Whatever,
players.
man.
We do it for the average fantasy players out there because not everybody's a pro, right? We're going to jump right into things. Here I am, your host, your current reigning, undisputed, drunken draft dynasty league champion. Y'all know where the belt's at. You've seen it plenty of times. I don't need to bring it back out. And my co-host is with me, Mr. JJ himself. You got something to say to the folks at home, JJ?
Welcome in. Hope you have fun. Listen to our takes.
We are back with our rebuild king, Mr. Toilet Bowl champion himself, holding on to the toilet crown going into
King.
this season.
Montavious.
Montavious, buddy, welcome. How you feeling?
Feeling good,
Dude.
feeling great.
We have a very exciting episode. We are what? It's going to be like a week or two till kickoff at this point, and we are going to go through our one-of-one league top teams. We are going to predict our number one roster going into the season. So that way we can revisit halfway through the season, maybe the end of the season. We'll figure that out down the road. But we're going to see how close we can get to having the number one fantasy player in each position of our league. How you guys feel about that?
Hey, bold move, Cotton, but we'll see if it pans out.
Cotton needs a new pair of shorts.
Sheesh, JJ, what do you think? How well do you think you're gonna do?
Not well.
What?
I don't know. Not good. What do you want me to say?
The good news is I have a quote coming in from
the
our Schmiegel himself. Out thousands of miles away on deployment, doing what he does for this great country. Quote of the day from Mr. Schmee. I only join that podcast so I don't drink by myself. Quote Schmee. You're welcome. That's from the middle of the ocean somewhere. We miss you, buddy. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
Love you. Be
Love
safe.
him. We are jumping right into it, boys. Best lineup possible. We're going to start. Now, remember, this is a Superflex league. We have some IDP positions. We're going to throw them up on the screen as we name them for our team. So, everyone, you will get a visual going down the line of our top roster that we think is going to show out this year. Also, I didn't have the opportunity on our episode a while back to just kind of point out the layout. I mean, we've had a couple of episodes coming in now. I mean, if you're watching, comment, tell us what you think about the new layout of our screen. We're average fantasy players, but we're moving in a professional direction. So let us know how you feel about it. Cool. Let's start at the quarterback position. JJ, we're going to kick it off with you, the legend himself. Who do you have as your number one QB this year?
As much as I hate to say this because he's a Raven, I think Lamar Jackson is going to be back on top in the fantasy world. That's who I think.
Ooh. Okay. Why do you think that?
I think he's going to get there by throwing the ball a lot.
Throwing the rock. Okay. We're not going to utilize the legs?
No, not as much because Derek's there.
Okay.
Derek's going to take I think he's going to take a lot of goal line situations away from Lamar. But I think that I'm hoping that we see at least 38 passing touchdowns from Lamar this season.
38. Clip it. 38 passing touchdowns. I love that. Love that prediction. Monty, QB1 for your perfect roster.
I got
what are we looking at?
Sophomore season CJ Stroud. He finished 11 in his rookie year. They've only added weapons. They're just gonna put more on his shoulders. I think he's gonna have a breakout year for his sophomore year.
Okay, where do you think he finishes this year? CJ Stroud, where do you think he finished? QB1?
QB1.
Ooh, QB1. Okay. My first pick, I went with Josh Allen for a
Ooh.
number of reasons.
Repeat.
4 straight seasons, this man was number 1 or number 2, 3 of which he was number 1. We're talking about a man with double-digit touchdowns rushing. I mean, not afraid to run the ball, obviously. They are not just goal line attempts. And he throws the ball through the air. I think losing a few weapons over in Buffalo, this man's going to have to put some team on his back going forward, and I think he is the guy to get it done. He's a competitor. So that is who I have at my QB1. Going down the line, we're going to jump into our running back. We got 2 running back positions here. Montavious, who are you going to throw on your board right now for your number 1 and number 2 running back?
Number 1 and 2. So 1, I got Bijan Robinson. And 2, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. Also, both in their sophomore year. I think they have breakout years. They just get more added to their shoulders. I think they both have crazy seasons.
The consensus 1 and 2 off the board last year. Interesting. JJ, I mean, do you want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit?
No. Nah, I drafted him. He was my darling, but I gave him up for a haul.
Let's
Had
talk
to.
about that haul.
No. Okay, fine. I in return got my 2025 first, George Pickens, and Kenneth Walker the third. I'm pretty happy with that,
I
but
like it.
I think
like
Jahmyr
it.
Gibbs is still going to have a really big season, so it's going to hurt. I just kind of had to decide which grenade I wanted to land on, and I had to take
And you
that
landed
hit.
on the grenade with a big ass L on it.
I'll tell you what,
I
I want to
mean,
leave it to the
that's.
folks. Comment on that. I don't hate that trade for you. You
I
got
don't think
trade
it's that
capital
bad.
out of it,
A lot of people
plus you
don't
got
like it, but
some solid
young pieces,
young
I think,
pieces
at the
to
running
bolster
back and
your
wide
team.
receivers.
And you
Yeah,
obviously have a good team already, so you're only adding depth to that team, which we've seen depth wins games. We like that. I mean, down the stretch, bye weeks, injuries, things like that come into play. Depth matters. So
right.
I like that
Absolutely.
for you. But I would
Thank
like
you.
all the folks at home to comment on that and just do you like that trade or not? And I do think that a lot of people looking on will take that as a face value trade, but in a dynasty league, you're thinking 2-3 years down the road, or your roster itself matters. We've talked about a lot of things. And if shout out back to a couple of episodes, Mr. Montavious, you and I talked about a trade we did, Zamir White, DJ Moore pick for Malik Neighbors. And it's one of those things where it seems like a haul when you look at it for face value. But for me, given my current roster at the time, all of those guys were on my bench. Right? So a normal dynasty team, you're like, wow, that's a crazy. But for me, I'm giving up assets to upgrade in a position, in my opinion. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Emphasis on hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or I'll cry. Cool. JJ, who are your 1 and 2 running backs?
So my RB1 is actually one of your players.
Goddamn
And
right.
that's Brees Hall of the New York Jets.
Dog. DAWG. Dog. Throw it on the screen. Dog.
Yeah, he's really good. I looked at his numbers and I was really impressed. I couldn't believe that he was ranked. Monty, do you know where he
I
was
know
ranked?
top 5 for sure. I don't remember exactly where.
He was ranked RB2. Do you know how many yards he had?
No.
Rushing.
No.
Guess. Guess how many yards he had rushing. Over 1,000
Over
or
1,000,
no?
yeah.
No, he didn't. He had 994 rushing yards in 2023, and he still finished as RB2. He's
Yeah,
absolutely
they fed him.
ridiculous.
They had no choice.
Dude, and what do you think they're going to do now? I think they're going to continue to feed him. He had 95 targets and 76 receptions, 591
Dink
yards.
and dunk.
I don't like the face you just made, Montavious. You gave us a "I don't think so" type face. What makes you say that he's not going to be viable?
So I watched some of the games, and they were just Zach Wilson just dinked and dunked it, and they had no because they couldn't pass it to nobody else because Zach Wilson was so bad.
Mhm.
They fought.
I have a
Go ahead.
question. Was Aaron Jones viable with Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Very. And now you're giving him arguably a better, younger running back in that backfield to be his outlet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be scary.
I for sure think it's gonna
Let
be
me ask-
scary, but I don't think he's gonna be the RB1. Top 5 again though.
I do have a news break. Pew, 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 coming in from the middle of the ocean.
Oh,
Quote,
shit. Here comes Shmi.
Shmee, the cat's out of the bag. This dog is off the leash. Quote. Send it. DAWG. He wanted to be involved in the dog talk, so we had to throw him in there.
I like that, actually.
Go ahead, Jesse. Continue on your reign of terror promoting my beloved Brees Hall. I almost said Bijan because I have him too, but whatever. Who am I?
So I think that the reason why I am so convinced that he can do this year is Brees's year, is because I'm looking at Brees and I could potentially see 20 plus touchdowns. So that's my RB1. And I'm looking at
Clip
my
it.
RB2 is Bijan Robinson. And just like you, Monty, I have a lot of love for him in a new system in Atlanta. Arthur Smith is out. I believe it's Dennis Miller is in. I have to double check that. I think that he's coming from Sean McVay's system in LA, which is dynamic as fuck. And I feel like they're going to be attacking like all fronts, truthfully. A lot of play action, a lot of read option. I don't know if they're going to have Kirk running the fucking ball, but I could see Michael Penix possibly getting some reps at doing that, but I don't see Kirk doing the options, any triple option, anything like that. Raheem Morris, I'm sorry, that's what I was talking about. With him there, I think Bijan's going to eat. Bijan was RB9 last year.
I believe so.
Yep, RB9.
Yep. Okay, so I mean, and that was a putrid offense. If I look at it, let's see, Atlanta Falcons, they finish their points for their offense, they rank 26th in the league. So I mean, I see them taking a big step up this year, and I'm excited for Bijan. He's going to be a focal point for that offense, and great for fantasy.
You said your 1 and 2 are Brees Hall and Bijan Robinson?
And you have them both. Shut up, Dick.
If you want to see a fantasy boner, this is what we're looking at right here.
Like your fucking team, Dick. It's good.
It really is, and I appreciate that. My 1 and 2 this year, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the utilization with Christian McCaffrey in that offense, I can only say that it is centered around him. When he's not on the field, that offense is not as productive. And, when he is, it is an explosive offense. All things run through him. The hard part for me saying that is the same can be said about Deebo Samuel. When Deebo Samuel is not on the field, it does not look like the same offense. Credit to Kyle Shanahan being able to utilize that many players. I mean, we saw Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, CMC, all very viable fantasy options, which is a rarity to have 4 on one team. But it's without a doubt, CMC is the main head of that very explosive offense. So I think he is still my RB1. My RB2 is Jahmyr Gibbs. I love me some Jahmyr Gibbs. Dog. DAWG. Roof dog. I cannot say it enough. I tried my little heart out to get Jahmyr Gibbs so hard forever, so hard, and it was a no go. But
Fruitless venture.
it was I was trying to be rewarded for my efforts, and it was not happening. I think they are going to utilize him in ways that they did not utilize him last year. I think they were trying to get him kind of used to the offense and how they can figure him out and see what he can really do at the next level. And I think they saw that. I think David Montgomery is not a thing of the past, but I think his utilization goes down. And I think you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs maybe like a 65-35. I don't want to say it's going to be like an 80-20 or a 70-30, but I think we're going to see a predominant Jahmyr Gibbs workload. And that will bode well given the fact that he finished as high as he did last year. Whew. That was a lot. Running backs, quarterbacks and running backs were off the board. Let's move into our receivers. Okay. Some people, they build their team around running backs. Some people build their team around receivers. A lot of people have different draft strategies, different play styles. We know in a dynasty league, every position matters. Let's jump into receivers. JJ, you want to kick us off with receivers?
Yeah, I am going with, for my wide receiver 1 overall this season, I think he reclaims his rightful throne. Talking about Jettas, man. Put those motherfucking glasses on. Let's get to work, son. I want to see number 1 in fantasy again. That shit was amazing. Can he do it with Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy throwing the ball? Hell yeah, I think he is going to surpass that. His talent is that good that dude can still ball even though his quarterbacks are trash. I think he is very similar to Jamar Chase in that fashion. Jamar Chase made things happen with shitty throws that never should have happened. But yes, I think JJ gets back to being healthy and balling the fuck out.
Hot take. Clip me if you want. I think Justin Jefferson finishes below WR6.
Ooh.
Damn.
I think he finishes below the WR6 mark. My own take, I watched as a Green Bay fan, I watched Minnesota try to operate last year with a confusion of quarterbacks, and it just wasn't pretty. Hopefully, Jordan Addison takes a step to draw some attention away from Justin Jefferson. Not to say that Justin Jefferson can't do it on his own. I just hate to see a receiver of that caliber have to win at every route and then also win for the contested catch instead of being targeted in a position where he's supposed to be. I don't think it's going to be as easy for him this year. Obviously, elite, still a top 10 receiver, potentially probably top 5 if I'm being honest. But hot take, I think he finishes below the WR6, WR7 or below. Clip it if you want.
Okay.
Who is your WR2?
My WR2 actually is someone I'm riding till I fucking die. It's Mike Evans.
Wow.
Top 10 till you ain't.
What?
Top 10 till you ain't.
Yeah. This man has been the definition of consistent. If you looked in the fucking Webster's dictionary, you looked up consistent, Mike Evans is chilling there catching the ball.
If you also looked up willing to punch you in the face, Mike Evans' name would also be there. He will fight any DB.
Marshawn Lattimore, listen, that man likes to be punched. So the best finish Mike Evans has ever had was wide receiver 2, and that was in 2016. But this guy's consistently been top 15 for 7 years of his 10-year career. 70%, I'll take that. Those are good odds.
When's the last time he didn't have 1,000 yards?
To answer that question, actually, he has never had a season without 1,000 yards.
Sign me up.
This dude has consistently been in the 70s for receptions and had 1,000 yards and has had 13, 14, so 13, 6, 14, and 13 touchdowns in the last 4 seasons. And he's played in almost every game of his career. Yeah, the risk of injury is always there, but when this guy is on the field, he's unbelievable. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I really do love Mike Evans. So, yeah, I'm excited for him in going into his 11th season. See what
JJ,
he can do, man. Another 1,000 yards.
I think
Hall of Fame is
someone
calling.
else agrees with you.
Ooh.
We got a news break. Another
Oh,
one
shit.
coming in right now from the Shmee
Shmee.
out in the middle of nowhere, quoting on Mike Evans, like a bear in a fridge, nothing is stopping him.
Man,
Nothing. The man, the myth, the legend coming in with the quotes of the day. Mike Evans, DAWG, bear in a fridge, no stopping that man. We love it. We miss the Shmee. Okay. We
Juicy.
see it. JJ and Mike Evans. I love it. I'm going to go ahead with my two. So, my number one receiver this year, I'm going with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
We love
dog.
that.
DAWG. Dog. That offense flows through him with the exit of Josh Reynolds. We're preying on Jamison Williams becoming a viable option. Yes, they have Sam Laporta there. I am not a tight end one Sam Laporta believer. He's obviously an incredible tight end talent. I think he takes a step down, not a leap down, a small step down from tight end one numbers. And I think that offense continues to flow immediately through Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think we see the emergence of him this year. I think there is potential for him. He could finish WR1, WR2. I mean, clip it if you want. Top 3 this year. That's where I'm thinking right now. My number 2, Tyreek Hill. I don't know if I need to say anything else. Tyreek is a machine. Now, he's getting a little older. Doesn't make him any less fast. And by fast, I mean pew, fast as fuck. That dude is moving at all times. Not only that, for some reason, he's just always open, chucking up the deuces to anybody near him. That offense, like we talk about all the time, is only going to get better. They're going to find opportunities for him to get the ball in his hands, let athletes be athletes. I think Tyreek, remains at the top. So that's why I had to go with Tyreek for my number 2. Any thoughts on it?
Ain't nobody. Hey, he was just ranked number 1 by his peers, number 1 in the NFL. Nope, I don't see why anyone would disagree with that.
JJ?
Yeah, I absolutely feel like this offense runs through him. Little news really quickly, though. They did just restructure his contract. I think just to make some cap space, but $90 million over the next 3 years included $65 million guaranteed.
Most guaranteed money for a receiver ever.
Deservedly so. The dude has been a fantasy monster. I mean, it's crazy to think back to when we were talking about Tyreek being like absolutely done for his career after a major injury. But now here we are, man, still talking this guy up. He's your wide receiver 2, and I completely understand that. He finished as the number 2 wide receiver overall last year, and he's slated to do it. This guy's been in the top 3, 4 out of his. 50% of the time he's been in the top 3. The dude is amazing. Love that pick.
Monty, let's jump into your number 1 and number 2 receivers for this year.
So my number 1 is CD, gonna get paid Lamb. the target. He's to me, he's just the.
By who? Sorry.
It don't matter. He's getting paid. I think he's just a
Not by the
target
Cowboys.
whore. I think he's gonna have a great season. He's gonna earn that check. So CeeDee Lamb is my one, and then my two, I got Jay Jettas. I think the JJ to JJ connection is gonna be there. Uh,
Ooh. When do you think it will be there?
first,
Ooh, that is a
yeah,
great question.
Thank you.
Let's ask that. At what point do you
Yeah.
think we see the emergence, not a one catch, the emergence of the JJ to JJ connection? What week?
I see. You see
Okay,
a
let me.
highlight week one.
Oh.
It's gonna you're gonna see it.
Ooh.
Week
You think
one.
JJ starts week
Clip
one?
it.
JJ week one. He's gonna show you why he's getting paid.
Let me give you a little preface, okay? Their bye week is week 6. You're positive that he's going to start
Week
week
one,
1?
JJ highlights already.
Everything out of camp right now is that Sam Darnold is the quarterback
Gross.
one.
Idiots.
I think the quote from Kevin was he definitely is not starting week one.
Mm.
Obviously, a lot of training
Who?
camp left. They had
Who,
said
JJ?
no. Yeah, JJ McCarthy.
I don't think he's starting week 1.
Just
Sorry, go
quoting the
ahead.
reporters.
I was just shitting on them really quickly while you read that. Continue. I'm
No,
so
I
sorry.
agree. I agree entirely. I
agree.
agree with you fully. I agree. He is not going to start week one, but we've been wrong a lot. So let's see what
Let's
happens.
see.
Okay.
I just wanted to say I think that if JJ starts over Darnold, it won't be until week 7.
Mm.
After the bye week.
You want to take a bet, Monty?
Oh yeah, absolutely
Put a
not.
fantasy bet on it. Put a bet on it.
I
All right. Let's move into our tight ends here. My tight end one going in is Travis Kelce. Come on. How many times you got to do it? I mean,
Ball till you fall.
the one thing I will say is he didn't decide to be the GOAT until the playoffs last year. But he's getting up there, and I think that the Chiefs do it better than anybody. They play a sustained game throughout the season, and then they know how to flip the switch. I think Travis Kelce, barring injury, is consistency at the tight end position. That's why I had to go with him for my tight end one. My tight end two, I know some people might not like it, but I'm going Trey McBride.
Oh,
I loved what Trey McBride did last year. I did my dirtiest work to get him this season, and it did not happen. I was met with, I will not offload Trey McBride. And I
Ooh,
don't blame him.
interesting.
I don't. Was basically told he's off limits. I love that. Because I probably would say the same thing, except for I don't know how to not put anybody off limits, because I have a problem. But Trey McBride, I think we'll see him. I think he's top 3 tight end this year. Clip it if you want. Montavious, tight ends, top 1 and 2. What are we thinking?
I got Sam Laporta at 1. I think he continues to do what he does. I think he has a phenomenal sophomore year, and then I think Kyle Pitts has the season we all been waiting for him to have.
I know. I hope that for you, Monty. I really do.
Off air, when we were talking about our players, JJ had said, you know what? I'm going to let Monty have Kyle Pitts. I'm not even going to talk because we knew you were coming with the Kyle Pitts energy.
I knew it. I love him, man. And I gave him, well, between the 3 of us, we were the ones that kind of targeted him. I drafted him in our startup and then traded him to Blake. He traded him back to me because I begged him for it. And, well, for Kyle Pitts. Calm down. And then now Monty is in possession of Kyle Pitts. And you know what? I really hope that, dude. I really do. But I saw him. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this from you. But
No, you're good.
I saw him last year coming off of the ACL injury, I believe, right? Or was it Achilles?
I think it was ACL.
Can you remember? Okay, so we are religious in thinking that you have an ACL injury 1 year, you're no good for fantasy. Second year, then we can start thinking that you might be where you were before. But we're looking at the second year, and he's got a much more viable quarterback. So I love that pick, dude. I just had to tell you that really quick.
Hell yeah.
Why do you love Kyle Pitts,
Pump him.
aside from the fact that he's on your team, Montavious?
They finally got someone who can get him the ball.
Okay. We saw T.J. Hawkinson do very well in Detroit. Went to Minnesota and was also very good for Kirk Cousins. We know Kirk Cousins will play with the tight end, so I like that. I like it a lot. JJ, tight ends 1 and 2.
Oh, you already know who it is.
Yeah.
Me and Monty are on the same ship with this one. Sam Laporte is my tight end one. Yes, I absolutely think he could do it again. Why? This dude had 120 targets last year. And wait, was Jameson Williams suspended for a couple weeks? 8 weeks?
He was.
Okay. Jameson's back. Do I think that affects his targets? Hell no. I think he's still getting close to that number, which was record breaking, and 86 receptions. Also, now I gotta say this: 10 touchdowns for a rookie is unbelievable. Can I count on him getting 10 touchdowns in his second year? Hell no. Can't count on that. Defenses are too smart for that shit. They're gonna start preparing for things that they were doing and preventing that. So maybe a decrease in touchdowns. Maybe he has 8 or 9 touchdowns, but he's still in the 100 target range for me, and I'm hoping he has like 90 something receptions. That would be unbelievable. And 1,000 yards. I want to see him break 1,000 yards this year, and I think he can do that.
Love that.
And
Love
then
that.
thank you. My tight end 2 is, oh my god, what is up with me and these motherfucking Ravens? My tight end 2 is Mark Andrews. I can't stand the Ravens, clearly. I have too much black and gold in my blood. But Mark Andrews is undeniable, man. He is. When he's on the field, that dude is great. He can release, route running, getting open, finding space. I think he gets back there. That's why I also have Lamar up there at number 1. I mean, how is he going to be able to do it without Mark Andrews? I don't think he can. And I think I've already heard things out of camp. I don't know if you've heard this, Blake or Monty. Isaiah Likely is the second, or what? I think the wide receiver 2 or something like that. I was like, so wait, it goes Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and then who? Zay Flowers?
I know Rashad Bateman in that conversation.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Hey, we got to talk about that later in another episode. But yeah, the Rashad Bateman hype is back for the 4th year in a row with no results. So,
yikes.
Yes, Mark Andrews is back. He's back.
Love that. This is where things get kind of dirty, right? Because now we're getting into flexes, and then we're getting into the IDPs, right? It's a lot of dynasty leagues aren't playing with the IDP factor. So if you guys are watching, you don't have the IDPs, it might be time to talk to your commissioner. Get into this IDP because it is game changing.
It's so much fucking fun.
It's a whole different aspect to the game that is just different, new, better. Get away from total defenses. Get away from these kickers. Like what? Play the game. Watch defense and offense.
Excited for
how
both
annoying
sides.
is it for you? Yeah, how annoying is it to watch a game and you have 3 players only on offense and you're like, I'm just waiting for my offense to get back on the field. No, man, watch the whole game and enjoy every aspect. That's what football is. Sorry, I went on a tangent. I love this game. Let's jump into our flexes. JJ,
love it.
We talked about it off air. It is a dirty game when you get into the flexes, especially when it comes to bye weeks and injuries and things like that. So it's constantly rotating. But I want you to hit us with your your flexes that you put in there, because remember, we're doing a 1-of-1 league, your best lineup possible. So we're not looking at traditional flexes. These are going to be guys that are predominantly starters in most leagues, but we're putting them in our flex position. JJ, what do you think? Who are your top 3 flexes?
Okay, so if you can get these to be your flexes, which I think you can with where they're like being drafted and where they're valued in Dynasty, I have a soft spot for a certain blonde-haired, blue-eyed receiver out of LA. What's new?
Puka's
Cooper
not
Cup.
blonde haired blue. Oh, continue.
It's not Puka, baby. It's the old man, former Triple Crown winning.
Oof. Dog. DAWG. Oh, dog.
This man is ready to fill his cup back up. Okay, I don't. Thank you, Monty. I, I don't think that we should be looking at last season like Cooper's done. He's not done. This offense still runs through him, and Puka is still a major threat. Don't let me take this away from Puka. Puka's still up there, but I think that the Rams can have an offense that supports both Cooper Cup and Puka being like really high. Do I have them right there? No. But I wanted to make this a little fun. I also want to see Cooper Cup do well. So Cooper Cup is my number 1 flex. My number 2 flex is actually a backup, but someone I think is going to actually take the main role this year. And the reason why I think that is because this organization has a history of rolling with undrafted free agent running backs. And you already know who I'm talking about because I'm biased. Jalen Warren. The man is nasty, and he's got Arthur Smith calling the plays. Guys, I'm plugged in. I'm listening to everything coming out of the Steelers training camp. Shout out to my guys on Instagram. I love those guys. Oh my god, they give me some good news. I can't be there. I wish I could. I'm in sunny San Diego. But
The tragedy.
bro, if you guys can look this up, or if Joey can get a hold of this footage, Jalen Warren and Landon Roberts doing backers versus backs. Oh my god, dude! I went from 6 to midnight immediately, dude. This man, Jalen Warren, young buck, 24 years old, put a Landon Roberts on his fucking ass. It was awesome. There was shit talking. The backers and the running backs are getting in each other's faces. This team in Pittsburgh right now, you're probably going to want to clip this. Looks like, bro, I'm talking about 2006. 2005, 2006 season when they won in 2006. But this team's fighting in camp again. Wasn't happening the last 3 years. They have the fucking fight back, and Jalen is going to be one of the leaders of this fight. And I'm already predicting some wild shit, but Jalen Warren is my flex 2, okay?
Damn.
My flex 3 is someone I hope to get back to his like regularly scheduled performance. DK Metcalf in Seattle. I love DK. I love that build in a receiver. I know it's weird to talk about that, but like his size, his strength is unmatched. And do I think Geno can get back to where was Geno ranked just a few years ago? I think he was like
He was up
quarterback
there.
9, I want to
He
say.
was up there. He was top 10.
Quarterback 5 in 2022. Can he get back to that with 4,200 passing yards? I mean, oh god, how did he do that? I'm like looking at the numbers. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? This man had
Crazy.
30 touchdowns in 2022, 30 passing, 1 rushing. So, yeah, I think we can get DK back into. I hope
Love
the
that.
top 10. Truthfully,
I love that. Montavious, any comments on those 3?
I mean, yeah, they were solid if like in like the true nature of like a flex, like an attainable flex position, then yeah, those are great flex options. Um
oh, thank you.
I'm immediately going to switch my flexes since we're going true
Yeah,
attainable
right. I
flexes
was
here
like, I thought
because
it was
I
going
want to play,
dream team.
and that's fine. We were going dream team, but I like the route that
Oh,
he went with. Nope, I love it.
Yeah,
JJ, do
okay.
not. I love it because those are attainable real
yeah.
flexes, and I want to play that in that route. Um,
Okay.
no, I want to comment on all
Makes
those
sense.
things. I'm going to
Make
give
me
you guys
feel
the
better about that.
breakdown in the first 30 seconds. Also, do not feel bad about yourself. I think we should feel bad for thinking that we were ever going to put some of these dream
Yeah,
team
bro. I
players
had
in a flex
Tyreek
position.
Amon and bro.
I'm sorry. I was
No,
thinking my dream team
Nah,
flex
yours is more
options that are
I
realistic.
love
We're
it.
switching.
Let's run it. I do believe that a lot of teams have been able to produce two top receivers. So I do see Cooper Kupp having the opportunity to come back and be a very viable flex option. I agree with that entirely. When you jump in and you look at Jalen Warren, question: where does he finish? RB what this season?
Let me look at my rankings really quickly. I have Jalen.
If you're watching the stream right now on YouTube, you are watching Monty in real time suddenly figure out who his options are going to be going forward for true flex options, and I love every second of it.
I already got two. Hold on, I just need one more. Keep going.
We're getting
All right. So he finished as the RB22 last year. I think he finishes as. I have not completed my rankings. I think I have him ranked at 14.
14. What does that do for Najee?
I think Najee's also up there. The reason why I have him ranked so high is because I think he's going to be receiving the ball, but I think Najee is like 12. They're going to be close again. Like he could be 15, he could be 13. I
Love
don't know.
it.
He could be 12, 13, 14, 15. He could be in that range, 12 to 15.
Love it. Okay. I'm going to jump into my three flexes since Montavious is still doing his homework.
I got him.
We appreciate you. I'm
You
going to
got him.
go
I got him, coach.
with Garrett Wilson.
Ooh, yes.
Down season, still, rookie of the year, had incredible numbers, but now you have Aaron Rodgers back. I think we finally see the true alpha that is Garrett Wilson in that offense, barring any injuries on either side. I think if all parties are healthy, I think we see the emergence of Garrett Wilson and what he can truly do as a WR1. So I am going with Garrett Wilson for my number one flex. My number two this season is Drake London. I'm going Drake London because he's finally in an offense where they're going to put him in the positions to be utilized successfully. We talked about it on a previous episode, JJ. That offense, actually, we talked about it on a previous episode and earlier today. We talked about that Sean McVay style offense coming over to Atlanta, where we're seeing true, real alpha wide receivers emerge. And I think Drake London's finally going to get the attention he deserves for the caliber of player that he is. And I love that for him. So that's going to be my number two. Number three is tricky. It's very tricky for me. But I want to go. I think I'm going to go with a running back here just to switch it up. I would love to have three receivers in my flex because I am a wide receiver heavy type player. But I want to go Rachaad White. I think I'm going to go Rachaad White because he had a great year last year, yes, but we haven't seen.
It's very efficient.
It wasn't, right? I think he's very attainable if you have the opportunity to go get him. I think you can go get him, and that offense, Baker's still running the show. I think we're going to see not a leap, but a good solid step forward in comfortability in that offense. And we're going to see what Rachaad White can do over there. I don't think there's a lot of competition for touches for him. Go ahead, JJ.
Tristan Wirfs just got paid, so he's going to be protected. The best is the right tackle in the league, or is he left? I can't remember if Tristan Wirfs is right or left, but anyway,
he's good at what he does. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's fucking good. I mean, you could probably put him on either side. The man is nasty. Anyway, highest paid tackle in the league.
So
And Baker's still going to check down to Rashad. He knows he's there, so
He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I
Baker's
mean,
good
he
at that.
catches the ball. He runs the ball. I think he's a great flex option
And I
going
agree
forward.
with the competition not really being there. I think there was Sean Tucker, and they just drafted Bucky Irving. I haven't really heard a lot out of camp about Bucky Irving.
Nope.
Nope. If you ask me, Bucky Irving is just a goodwill version of Rashad White. Just not as big, not as strong, not as fast, but he can do all the same things.
I think we can take more away from Bucky Irving being drafted and chalk it up to Sean Tucker not being what they expected, undrafted free agent that they signed after the draft.
Agreed.
So Bucky could step in and be, which is kind of what his archetype is and what he did in Oregon, which was catch the ball in the backfield. So, or out of the backfield. Um, yeah, I think we could look at that potential too. But that's like worst case scenario. I think Rashad White is safe. Has a lot of
Love it. Montavious, the
opportunity.
dirty work. Who are your 3 flex?
So all three are on my roster. First one, I'm gonna say,
Oh, I love it.
Oh, so we know these are going to be
no,
horrible.
absolutely not. First one, I got Zamir White in a
Oof, that's
contract
a good one.
year.
It's a great one.
Okay.
With the whole quarterback situation right now between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, especially off the gate, I think they're gonna go very run heavy. So I think Zamir White has a lot of touches, especially in the red zone, and he's a power back anyway. So I got Zamir White as one. Number two, I switched like 3 times, but I'm gonna go Tank Dell. Coming off of his injury, he's healthy now. He's back in training camp. I'm a huge Tank Dell fan, bro.
Me
I
too,
love Tank
dude.
Dell. I love his route running.
That's a great pick for a flex.
His
I
yeah.
love that.
Amazing.
So Tank Dell, my number two, and then number three, I'm a believer. And then he has Jaden Daniels coming in. I'm gonna go Jahan Dotson. Yep.
Ooh.
I hate that.
I
Can
don't
I give an
care.
honorable mention really quick?
Uh, Jesse, I think I'm going to throw the first red flag.
Oh
I
shit.
I'm
You gonna challenge
challenging
it?
it. I really want to know. Hear me out. Red flag, flag on the play, throw it down. Coach's challenge. Why is it that you think Jahan Dotson is going to be relevant at all?
So was it 22? So when I first had him, I think it was in 22. He was a red zone monster. He was targeted very often, and then as the season progressed, they just couldn't get him the ball. But like Scary Terry, he's also open a lot of the times. They just can't get him the ball. I think he's a phenomenal route runner. He has great hands, and I think he proves it this year that he's a solid number two, WR2 in that system.
Okay, okay. Joey, while we have it up, I want you to throw up the best clip you can find of Jahan Dotson. We'll see what the commentators
It's gonna
think. Go
be
ahead
in
and
the end
comment what you
zone.
think of Jahan Dotson. Okay, okay. All right. Overall, I love all 3 of those picks. JJ, what do you think about his 3 flex picks?
I love them actually. It made me think like fuck. I actually should have. I wish I would switch DK Metcalf and George Pickens for my flex, but what's done is done. However, Jahan Dotson is someone I traded for. Actually, I traded Monty for Jahan
You went back
Dotson
and forth a few times with John.
twice. Yeah, I traded for him and then traded him back.
We've seen that a time or two.
Which I'm fine with doing that. Flip flop, snip snap, snip snap. 7 touchdowns in his rookie season. So yeah, I love that. And then the other 2 flexes.
Zamir White and Tank Dell.
Zamir White. Oh,
Okay, yeah. I will. Okay, I'll be the bad guy and talk shit
Here
about
we
Zamir
go.
White then. I think he's Alexander Madison. He's this year's Alexander Madison, where he's like, oh man, it's his 5th year. He's or actually, what year is Zamir in? He's
His
not even in
third.
his 5th year, is he? Okay, well, I just don't think he's an RB1, man. I'm so
He
sorry.
is.
I loved him coming out of Georgia. I think he's a great talent, but that team needs work. They just lost their left tackle. to the Giants. I cannot pronounce his name. It started with an L. You know what I'm talking about, Monty?
Nah, not for left tackle.
That guy.
Yeah.
Got it. We'll have our executive
Okay.
producer go ahead and throw it on the screen for us. But I do have a question for both of you. Since we're at
Yes.
opposite ends of this totem here, where do you think, Montavious, that Zamir White finishes? RB question.
RB14.
Oof. Okay, JJ, where do you think Zamir White finishes? Because he just said he's going to finish in the same spot that Jalen Warren and Najee Harris roughly are going to finish. Where do you think Zamir White finishes? RB
Well,
question mark.
yeah, I think I could kind of see that. What did you say, Monty?
14.
RB14? I'm gonna say RB17.
Okay. We'll see who's
I've been talking
closer.
a lot of
So
crap
not
about him,
dog
but
shit. Got it.
yeah, I'm giving you. You know what? Your case made me feel like I should be a little generous.
Mm.
So
You got to be generous to the last place holder. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to give them a win here and there.
no, this man ain't gonna be last place no more.
That's a fact. Let's jump in. We did the dirty work. We have our super flex. If anybody puts anybody but a quarterback in there, I promise you I'll throw 47 challenge flags. I'm talking to you, Shmi.
He's the only one.
My super flex this year is none other than sophomore season CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I know I give Monty a lot of flack for it, but CJ Stroud, boy, he's good. That man is accuracy in a person.
I'm
He
sorry to
is
be the laugh.
accuracy defined. He is ridiculous. Plus, they got a lot of weapons over there. You got Tank Dell. He's back. He's healthy. You got Nico Collins. You got Dalton Schultz. You just got Joe Mixon in the backfield. Xavier Hutchinson looks like a monster in camp this year. He has all the weapons in the world. Let CJ Stroud eat. That's my take on it. JJ, how do you feel about it?
I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I don't think CJ Stroud's going to finish as high as we hope. He had 23 touchdowns last year. Only 5 interceptions, which is impressive. 3 rushing touchdowns. If you're telling me he only has 39 attempts, then I don't think he's going to be like that relevant for fantasy unless we're talking about him passing for 5,000 yards with Stephon Diggs and this just illustrious, beautiful receiving core he has. Fucking Nico, Tank.
I didn't even include
Even John
Stephon Diggs
Mechie's
in
still
there.
there, man. We just saw him in the Hall of Fame game. He looked like shit, but Dalton's there. The doctor. Well, we can't call him the doctor, but another show does that. Dalton Schultz. Anyway, I don't think he does it, dude. Where do I think he'll end up?
You knew it was coming.
Probably 15.
QB 15. Clip it. I love that.
Yeah.
JJ,
I think we're gonna have a crazy year for quarterbacks.
Who do you have for your super flex?
I'm biased. It's someone I have, and it's because he has running upside, which is what I love in fantasy. I'll always pursue that. None other than second year quarterback Anthony Richardson, baby.
I love it. I don't have.
I think
we talk
I
about
think
him
he's
so
a dog,
much.
but he hasn't proven himself yet, so we won't call him.
He's a
junior
puppy.
dog.
He's a puppy,
Yeah.
bro. He's a little roof. He's a puppy. We
Okay.
like it. We like it. I think the same thing about George Pickens. I think George Pickens this year goes full pit bull. I'm talking dog season, but right now,
I feel like I could have a whole episode where I just talk about Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and George Pickens. All three of the. You know that Justin Fields and George Pickens have known each other for like 12 years? Didn't know that.
Let's hope Justin Fields gets on the field.
Facts.
Sorry, that's a possibility as well.
Let's go.
Which I wouldn't be angry about, but
over to Montavious. Who's your super flex?
I got Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if it counts as if I'm gonna say a bounce back year. He just won the Super Bowl. He finished at quarterback QB.
No. He finishes quarterback 8, dude. That's not like him.
So I think he goes back to the top 5. I think their offense is going to be explosive with the add of Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. I think he finally has some deep threats again. Kadarius Toney ain't it. So I think you start.
Thank you.
Agreed. He's already hurt
So
again. Sorry.
I think you see that high flying offense again return to, um, you know, back to full form, and Mahomes is gonna start launching that thing, and it's gonna be problems.
I like it. I like it a lot. We are getting into if there is whatever the definition is of dirty or filthy, nasty of any roster is our IDP portion. We have 5 IDPs. We have a D lineman, a linebacker, a DB, and then 2 IDP flexes of any of those positions. We're going to fly through these. I want to hear all 5 of them, your baby explanation for each. Let's get it rolling. JJ, we're going to start with you.
Okay, how many players am I naming?
All 5. Give me your
Okay,
5 starting IDP team.
my bad. I just had to change one. Okay, so for D line, because he's both in sleeper anyway, he's both D line and linebacker. It's TJ Watt. Finished as
Love
number
that.
1 last year, number 1 D lineman. I think he's going to do it again in a bigger way this year. My linebacker one is this guy. I love this kid. I've always been kind of a big fan of the linebackers coming out of San Francisco. I loved Patrick Willis back in the day. Fred Warner is on his way to that. And I really hope, because I feel like Fred Warner's been in the top 3 for linebackers for a long time. I think he finally claims his rightful place on top. That's what I hope, because I have him and I love him. My number 1 DB, I think the kid deserves his time in the sun, in the spotlight. Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Baltimore.
Oof.
I'm a Steelers fan. It's so hard for me to put Ravens on my goddamn fantasy lineup, but the reality is these teams are fucking good. The kid's nasty. I'm excited to see him in the second season. I think he's going to be unbelievable. Am I doing IDP flexes as well?
Yep.
Absolutely. I want all 5,
Okay.
baby.
So my 2 IDP flexes, my first IDP flex, I'm just going to put Minka in there. Minka's coming back. This defense is better than it's been in like probably 15 years. It's fucking nasty. Actually, 14 years, because 2010 we still had a nasty defense. Minka, I see him coming back to a really crucial point in our defense. More interceptions, more tackles. That's why I want him as my IDP flex. And I can also put him in as DB as well. IDP flex 2 is Will Anderson Jr. We're talking about the defensive rookie of the year last year. I know we've seen a lot of additions and subtractions for that Houston defensive line, but I think that Will Anderson is going to supplant himself by. I think he's going to record a lot of sacks this season, and that's what I'm hoping for. So, because sacks are a big fantasy gold mine, truthfully, in my opinion. So, I'm hoping for the sacks from Will, and that's why I got him at ADP2.
I want to ask just about Will Anderson specifically.
Yeah.
How many sacks? Let's take a guess here. How many sacks do you think he has this season?
Can I tell you how many he had last year?
You absolutely can, and then make your guess off of it.
He had 7 sacks last year, which is pretty damn good for a rookie.
So you see the emergence of Will Anderson, and what do you think
I
that's going to look
think
like
I
sack
think
wise?
we see 12 sacks.
Okay.
Even with Daniil Hunter there, which is a big statement. I want to see 12 sacks.
Love that. Monty, let's jump
Because
into your.
Daniil's just going to be I'm sorry, a
No,
big
keep going.
obstacle in the way. Go ahead.
An
What were you saying?
obstacle. Love that. Monty, let's jump into yours.
So for DL, I got Mad Max Crosby. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal season. I think he's gonna only improve on last year, and I think he's gonna get Defensive Player of the Year. So I got Mad Max as my DL.
Clip it.
Clip it. And he got voted number 10 for best NFL player. Dog. Um,
He's a dog.
for linebacker, I got TJ Edwards.
Okay.
Okay.
For
I like that.
defensive back, I got Cameron Bynum, tackle hawk, ball hawk. I think
Looking for tackles.
Defensive player
yeah,
Hawk.
crazy.
Yeah.
Um, IDP flex 1, I got Roquan Smith. And then
Oh,
for IDP,
oh my
I
god.
think Blake has him. Sophomore year, I think he just solidified his spot. I think he has a breakout year. I got Ivan Pace.
Yeah,
Whew.
good pick.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I like all those. I specifically love Ivan Pace, and I love letting JJ. All right. So Antoine Winfield Jr., right? Same ordeal. Cameron Bynum, ball hawk. I mean, tackle monger does it all. But my last two, okay, my last two IDP flexes: Zaire Franklin and Alex Singleton. I don't know. Zaire is just another guy who's all over the field, another tackle monger. We love him. Very similar to, you know, Olaquan. I mean, produces huge numbers. But Alex Singleton quietly produces a lot of tackles, and I have a similar argument. I think, given that offense in Denver, I think he's going to be on the field a lot, and I think we're going to see the same, if not better, crazy numbers from him, and I think he could emerge as a top 5 linebacker this year. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
Thoughts, comments,
I know.
concerns?
Okay. Do you want to go,
No, you
Monty?
got it.
Okay. So Alex Singleton playing right inside linebacker. They just lost Josie Jewell to the Panthers. So I feel like his competition for tackles is really not that good. So I think he's going to have a lot of tackles. And if he can make big plays where he's recovering fumbles or an interception or
Tackles
something
for
like
losses,
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Sacks, which I don't know if he's as an inside linebacker, had he's got fucking 4 sacks in his career, dude. So I wouldn't rely on the sack, but maybe interceptions, luckily, fumble recovery, they're not that great either. So you're really just kind of counting on the tackles because this guy's been a tackle monster. So yeah, I like Alex
Yeah,
Singleton.
I like him for the fact you said. I think he's going to be on the field a lot. So I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to get tackles. So I think he's going to be solid.
Absolutely. Antoine Winfield too. I love Antoine Winfield, dude. That boy's nasty, and he just got paid. Right? Did we talk about that?
Yeah,
We did talk
I think
about
you
it. I'm
mentioned
sorry,
it.
dude. Okay. Yeah, 4-year, $84.1 million extension this off season. I like that. What were the other two? Or last one? I'm sorry.
Zaire Franklin.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dog.
and Olaquan. Oh, and I love Zaire too. Ooh. So I'm interested to see what that defense looks like this year. I think the offense is going to be much better, right? So yeah, because I'm looking at it, I'm thinking the Colts are probably going to finish. Where do I have them? Let's see. I got them finishing 12-5 on the season.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think in order to do that, it's going to be a balance of both offense and defense, and I think they have a defense that they've got what the last year of DeForest Buckner potentially. Quiddy Pay just got taken over by Leatu Latu, who's I'm a big fan of. But Zaire is the green dot monster on that defense. And yeah, man, that's a great pick. I think if I could put him in IDP flex, I would.
We love it. We love it. Before we wrap up here, I have some breaking news that is not from Shmi. We
Joey.
talked about no.
Oh,
It is instant updates. We had a great conversation about the emergence of Cooper Cup this year, correct?
yeah.
Undisclosed, Puka Nakua just left a joint practice with the Chargers with an undisclosed knee injury. So now Sean McVay had stated he doesn't know what happened. There's no that'll obviously be monitored, but that is just a little tidbit here, little fun play to see where we're at and kind of what happens going forward. So a lot of camp left. Hopefully it's nothing super, you know, problem, mostly because I have him on my
Does that
team.
lower his trade value?
Puka, not even a little bit. But we are wrapping up here. Do you folks have anything to say to the fun fans that we're watching in?
Just happy to have Monty with us. I thought it was a great show, and if you guys have anything that you want to mention to us, please leave a comment, and we'd love to respond and have a conversation.
Man.
Thanks for listening.
I love that. Honestly, put your dream team in the comments. We would love to see them.
Would love to talk
We'd
about
love
that
to
and
see
analyze
that.
it on a future episode too.
Absolutely. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. Monty, special guest, anything to
Like,
say?
comment, subscribe. Obviously, I got to do a few shows with y'all, a few clips with y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm also a fan of the show, so I love what y'all are doing. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Thanks.
Absolutely. That's our
too.
number one fan right there. Day one, comments on everything. We appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, smash all them buttons, and we'll see y'all next time.